Well, hello again. Early morning, of course. Today, that air conditioner plenum is coming out. It'll bend to my will, guaranteed. My problem all along has been looking for bolt heads, similar to these down here, something like this right here, maybe a little larger. I've been looking for bolt heads that held this mess to the firewall. Well, apparently that's not the case. The bolt heads are inside this box, buried down in there somewhere, and no wonder I couldn't find them. Anyway, after consultation, I've got wires sticking me in the head here. I gotta get this stuff up here. It's driving me crazy. There we go. After consultation with Nick out in Colorado, Vintage Thunderbird Repair, I think we have it figured out. Now, before I go outside, we have to take some nuts off of bolts that are protruding through the firewall in the engine side. Now, as soon as I get a nice comfy spot for my rump here. Okay, before I do that though, just some things we need to do. I want to record the color of the vacuum lines at each one of these vacuum motors before I disconnect anything. There's like 4 of them in here, I guess. Wherever I find one, I want to record it because I'll forget, sure enough. That one right there, I can already tell you, is a red one. Cool, huh? We already started out on a good foot here. Alright, this one right here is blue, as you can see. This one down here is green. See the green down there? And then there's one buried down over in here, down below this mess, that is yellow. This is what a pain in the butt this vacuum line stuff is. We're going to eliminate a few of these lines thanks to Ken Wagner, one of our very good subscribers. He contacts me all the time, and he has shown me how to eliminate some of these lines, and I liked his idea, and we will be doing that at a later date. So let's go ahead and go out in the engine compartment now that we've recorded those. I don't think I missed any. I probably did, but I can't. Now there's one on the emergency brake over here. I don't know what that is. I'll talk to Nick about that later. Alright guys, this is it. All I have to do to get that plenum loose, as far as I can tell, by discussions with Nick. There is a bolt right here that comes through the firewall. I have my brake line bracket attached there. I need to get that off of there. And then we take this nut and washer. This will have to come off, this will have to come off, which is what I put on. And then the one on the firewall with the flat washer is right here. So this one will have to come off. This one down there, that's what the flat washer nut looks like. This one will come off. And there's 2 on the other side. Now Nick and I kind of bantered around. He said he was trying to remember how many there were. And I said, I think there's 5 on mine, but it turns out there's only 4. Only 4. So 1 here, like I said, 1 here at the top, and 2 that I've already taken out. I'll show you those in a second. There's the other 2 that I thought was holding in this fan, and it wasn't. I'm talking about the fan heater box, but it didn't. So there's the other one down at the bottom. I took them out by mistake, but what the heck, now I don't have to do it. There's the other one at the top. Those are the 4 bolts. We are done with that. Now, boy, I'll tell you, getting to that bottom one down there was kind of tough. Hard for an old man to crawl across this stuff and reach down in there, especially when it doesn't want to come off very easily. Anyway, I don't see any other bolts coming through the wall that could hold that thing in. So the next step is to go inside and give it a little tug on it, see if it's loose, because we have a lot of vacuum lines to disconnect from it first. We got to clear the area. If it is loose, hopefully it is, you got to clear the area so we can pull it out. Now Nick said that it's a very heavy unit, but no problem. I am nothing but brawn. Alright, let's see if it's going to be loose at all. Well, that didn't do anything. Maybe I need a handle over here. Well, it's loose somehow. That's amazing, isn't it? So I think what we need to do now, at least it's wiggling. What we need to do now is take loose some of these vacuum lines from underneath these loops, pull them up out of the way. This thing here, this is your vacuum door lock relay, or vacuum motor, I guess, or junction block, or whatever you want to call it. That thing's coming out of there right now. We're going to get rid of these are the two lines that come out of it that go to your door lock on the passenger side. And the other two, this big one here and this big one here, they run all the way across the car here to the vacuum door lock on the other side of the car, the driver's side. And then this line here is the one that comes from that tomato juice can. And these small ones here, they run over. And that's these right here. They go to the lock and unlock switch vacuum on the console. It's all going to go right now. There it is, all gone. That made quite a bit of hole underneath the dash. The stuff I don't have to get out of the way if I can get around to pulling this stupid plenum. I don't care how long this video is going to be. This is the last one until after the first of the year. We've got to get that stupid plenum out. Well, why did I pull these? Oh, I'm not going to use them anymore. I was talking with Ken Wagner, and he has a Thunderbird, and he told me he eliminated all this junk in his car, and he put electrically operated remote control door locks in his Thunderbird. I said, I told him, you have my attention, young man. You know, I've always told everybody in my videos, if I ever hear or see a good idea, I will implement it. Well, this is another one of those good ideas. He told me, I went to Amazon, and you can get the entire kit. He says his worked great. You can get the entire kit to convert these doors from vacuum to electric with little remote control key things. Go boop, boop. Less than 30 bucks. It comes with 4 actuators and 2 remotes and all the hardware to hook it up. It's a universal thing. You'll have to maybe make a few mods up on the door, you know, to get it. There's a video that shows you how to do it on YouTube. It's just, I was just so impressed. And now he said that one of his doors, it wouldn't pull it. The door was so, I guess the lock was so bent and rusted and all this other crap. He did his best to get it to work, but it just didn't want to cooperate. So the mechanism couldn't quite pull it. Didn't have enough strength to open the door up. So he took 2. He had 4 actuators. Remember, it comes with 4. He took 2 of the actuators, hooked them together, and then ran a wire or some kind of a rod between them, so they both pull at the same time when they hit the fob. And he said it just works perfect now. It's got enough strength to do it. I said, now that is the coolest thing I think I've heard. So this is going to go, and I will be ordering right after the first of the year. I have a few other things I have to order, and I'm going to get those in. I think those are slick. Anybody who's interested, let me know. And in the next video after the first of the year, I'll put the link at Amazon of the ones that Ken and I will be getting, or the ones he's already got and the ones I will get. Well, that cleared a lot of it out, like I said. Now I know that it still looks pretty complicated with crap holding it in, but it really isn't. It's actually pretty simple. This down here, all I have to do is get it out of that plastic. See that little plastic ring you see right there? Right there? I take the screw out holding that plastic ring, and all of this will shift down out of the way to include this right here. Okay, it'll all get out of my way. This metal piece can be tied up here to the shift handle, and that clears the spot. And then these here, all I have to do is bend them open. They're like these things right here, okay? You just got to bend them open, that's all. And all of this bundle of vacuum lines will come right out. I'll do one here for you while we're waiting. See there? Just came right out. I just bent it up. And we can get those, hopefully I don't think they'll fit down around the bottom, but we'll get them tied up out of the way. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I better disconnect this. We'll have to disconnect this line here. I think that'll pretty much clear us from everything else. There's some other things over there, a couple of small little items, and then we'll wiggle it again. But as soon as I get it cleared, coffee time, then I'll be back. Well, I'm back from my coffee break, and she's loose, but she doesn't want to come out. See it? Everything is loose, Bill. So it must be something on the other side that's holding it, because there's certainly nothing on this side. I think I found the culprit. It is this bar right here. There is a bar. Let me see if I can get it close. See this bar right here? It hooks on. There's a couple of half-inch. There's a half-inch head and a half-inch nut here. It comes up behind this thing, and it goes up and it connects to that thing right there with the nut. Right there. Right there. And it's right in the way of this right here. It will not allow it to come. We won't allow the box to come forward. So I'm kind of hoping. I'm kind of hoping that once I get this nut, once I get this nut off of here, or this bolt out, that I can swing that baby up out of the way like that, and then pull the entire box out. And of course, it probably won't work. She is totally free right now. I can't see a single thing holding it in. The screws going through the firewall are about 3/4 or more back this way into the car, so you can tell. See, it's really loose as a goose. So I got that rod out of there. It's down there on the floor. It's kind of a strange looking deal. I don't even know what it does. This car is full of steel rods. But I do know that it was down across that, looks like an expansion valve right there of some kind. It was down across that mechanism that holds that expansion valve. So it wasn't allowing it to come forward. Well, the only thing I can do now, I think the only thing left is to just muscle it. And there's nothing holding it in. Let's see what I can do. Okay, folks, we have made great progress, but no success. See, now this whole box is loose. Not a problem. But over here, it's hitting that expansion valve kind of thing. And I'm going to contact Nick and ask him. I can't even imagine I have to take out all these brackets and things for this. There has to be a way to get that out of there without doing all that, it would seem to me. So I'll get back with you after I've talked to Nick. It's been a couple of days. I had a lot of shopping to do. I had to go get a massage. I had to have a massage. My body was aching from crawling around underneath here. And I also, you know, I had to, I wanted to do a video on putting up the Christmas tree, stuff like that. And just generally doing nothing else, you know, just cooling out. I hurt my shoulder real bad crawling up underneath there. It's all better now. Just kind of threw it out, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, it's called being old, you know. Anyway, I called Nick and I told him what the problem was. I said the plenum is all loose, but it still doesn't want to come out. And I took this bar out. Let me see here. I told him I took this bar out. Let me light this place up in here. There we go. And I said I took that out, you know, and I said it still doesn't want to come out. It seems to be hitting over here on this expansion valve. And he said, it's not this here. This thing here is in front of everything else. He said, well, the first thing you got to do, John, is you got to be smarter than the plenum. Well, no kidding. He said, you just got to go up underneath here. There's some bolts up under there that will move everything out of the way. And on both sides of that plenum, that expansion valve. And he said, that should clear everything out. And you should, because this baby is just ready to come out. Just ready to go. And, well, let me see if I can figure out what he told me here. I'll go crawl up under there and maybe throw my shoulder out again. Oh, the only two bolts I see is that one right there. And there's one over here on the other side, up in there. They're the only two bolts under here. So, he said they were, the way he explained it to me, they should have been on the front and the rear of this expansion valve. I don't know. It has to be that bolt. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just loosen them up and see if it makes any difference. You don't want to be jerking those things out of there. The whole stupid steering wheel fall down. Well, I loosened up those two bolts, and this seems to be moving now. I don't know if you can see that with my hand. Anyway, let's get them the rest of the way out and see what happens. If you don't hear from me again, it's been nice knowing everybody. Well, the bolts are out. Let's see what happens now. I keep all my bolts, nuts, and screws and washers and everything in one of these paint cups. Then I throw them in the Evapo-Rust later on. Okay, if what Nick says is true, this whole thing should move over to the left and clear that, this thing right here should clear that expansion valve, and if it does, there may be a vacuum line I need to unhook on the back or something like that, and then the entire plenum should come out. Now if that's the case, once the plenum comes out, I'm going to pull it all the way back to here as far as I can go and try to get all those, and try to get those two AC lines through the firewall. And that will be the end of this video. Wish me well. First of all, let me see if I can, there's no sense even messing with it if it won't move out of the way. Let's find out. Ooh, something's working. No, see, it's, no, wait a minute, it's hitting on something still. I knew that was too easy. Let me see what I can do. Well, it's hitting the brake pedal arm that goes straight up right there. But I might be able to have enough wiggle room now to maybe get this side out first, kind of wiggle this out and bring it down to clear it, because this will go up a little, and it will, if that brake pedal wasn't there, it would clear it completely. Alright, keep moving, boy. Well, that's it. She's finally out. Oh, God, back braking as far as I'm concerned. Pretty heavy, but not overly heavy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it out of the car so I can vacuum it all out. And, you know, between now and the next time you see me, I'll have the inside of the car vacuumed up real nice and clean. And some of you are probably wondering, my God, how's he ever going to get that stuff back together? Well, you know, we don't worry about such things. You know why? Because if I get like a case of Alzheimer's and I just can't figure out how to get it back in there, we'll just go without air conditioner. I mean, you know, it's not the end of the world. I mean, I'd like to have it. I do live in Arkansas. It's very hot down here. But, you know, it's not an all-consuming worldly, you know, catastrophe for me. So, you know, I always look at things that way. If a human can put it in there, a human can take it out and put it back. Well, I'm the second human. We'll see. One vacuum line at a time, one electrical wire at a time, one connector at a time. That's the way it's done. You come out, you work for a couple hours, you get one vacuum line where it belongs. Hey, successful day. This is a hobby car. Don't ever forget that. It's a hobby car. All right, right now I got everything kind of cleared out of the way. I'm going to vacuum it all out, like I said, and clean it all up, and all that padding you see over there has got to go. I'm pretty sure, well, I think I discussed this with Nick. Every time Nick and I get into a conversation on the phone, it lasts quite a while. We talk about just about everything. I really enjoy talking to him. And that's our old padding off the dash. There's still more to come down. And I'm pretty sure Bird Nest, I saw that on Bird Nest, and I asked Nick about it. He says, yeah, they sell it. Well, you know, if they don't sell a lot of it, they don't sell it at all, which I don't blame them. That's business. So I'll be looking for that over the holidays till, you know, New Year's and Christmas and New Year's. But right now I want to get this heavy piece of crap out of here, and I'm probably going to set it over here somewhere in this open area, and so I have some room to work. Well, that takes care of that. Now some of you maybe, you know, who've come in late on this and haven't watched all the videos that led up to it, you may be asking, well, why did that guy take that thing out of there like that? I mean, why did it have to come out? Because inside that box is where the evaporator is for the air conditioner. And if it's got a hole in it, I have to test it. I've got Nick on one ear telling me, Nick from Vintage Thunderbird Repair on one side of me, in my ear telling me, yeah, you got to check out the evaporator. Nick sent his off to a guy to do it professionally. I may have to wind up doing the same. I don't know. And then I've got Brendan on the other side. He's telling me the same thing. You know, you need to get that evaporator checked, and you can't get to it unless you remove that box. And you know how I hate to rip and tear things apart. It's just, oh, I just hate it, you know. Well, now we all know how it's done, okay? For those of you who own Thunderbirds with air conditioning units. So what do we learn from this? Well, what did I learn from it? It's best to have somebody feed those lines through the firewall as you're removing the box, okay? The plenum. It was kind of, I had to constantly, you know, get outside, get out, and fix the lines. They kept catching on everything, especially that one with the hook on the end. You know, you get back in the car, get back out. It took me like 3 times to get in and out to finally get that thing through the firewall. I made it. And then it's not that heavy, like I said. And, you know, just have a positive attitude. You know, don't give up. Never give up on this stuff. This is my car. I can't afford to give up. I don't want to give up. If it never gets done, you know, if it stays like this for the rest of its life and somebody says, what idiot did all this damage, you know? I've got everything I need to complete this except for that pad on the wall, on the firewall. And I'm going to go ahead and look around for one of those. So I hope you learned something from all this. Any questions, let me know. Won't see you until after the first of the year. And I'll probably pop in around New Year's and tell everybody Happy New Year and all that, but that'll be about it. So we're done for today. We're done until next year. So until next time, this is John.